Hi, and welcome to another variant edition. Of course, we're doing things a little differently for the next week or so. Yesterday, I did a review. Today, I'm going to do two real quick ones. They're both of books I got this week, and they're both number ones. The first one is Destroyer number 1 by Robert Kirkman and Corey Walker. Now, if you remember, Robert Kirkman and Corey Walker are actually the co-creators of Invincible. And I love Invincible. It is a great book. I know that Corey Walker left after the first year or so, but, you know, I love that book. And I'm a big fan of Kirkman. This Destroyer is different. It's very... it's a first issue, and it's the jumping on point, and it's more of the sort of the idea of what's about to come. Basically, Destroyer was an old school, you know, golden age era, timely comics character. And this is sort of imagining him as if he has been heroing all this time. And he is, I mean, he's an old dude under the mask and everything, but he's basically invincible, and he's just really tough, and he's taking on some guys, and it's very gory. This is a Max title, and it's very no holds barred. So it's got that realistic, but yet over the top kind of take on it. It's the first issue, so it's very, I've kind of got the taste of what's to come, but I haven't quite fully made up my mind, but it's definitely something that I want to check out. Again, there's another book called Irredeemable, this time by Boom Studios. This book has so much promise that I didn't want the first issue to end. It's by Mark Waid and Peter Krause, and Mark Waid has done a lot of great things, specifically a book called Empire, which I'm a huge fan of. This is sort of like another take where Empire was sort of like, you know, the villain wins. This is, well, what if the good guy sort of becomes bad? This first issue starts with a bang, where basically there's this character, he's being hunted down, you know, sort of like this Batman type character, except he has a family. He's being hunted down by the Plutonian, who is, I guess, kind of like our Superman analog, except if Superman went bad. And if Superman didn't have any kryptonite, apparently, which we find out later in the series, in this first issue. I really like where this is going. I felt like I had half a lunch when I finished the end of this comic, because it almost felt like, oh, there should be another 5 or 6 pages. But I think that was kind of designed. It kind of like gives you enough information to sort of like see what the series is, where it's going, and then just kind of drops it right there. So it's not exactly a cliffhanger, but just enough to sort of like, okay, here's what we're going to do, and then stops. And it's actually one of those series that I don't want to say very much about, other than the Plutonian imagine Superman, except he does something very horrible to a sidekick that he gets, really horrible, and becomes bad and decides to be a villain and kill all the other good guys. This is a series that I want to watch. This is a series that has a great deal of promise, especially with Mark Waid's other works. And the art is really great by Peter Krause. It's one of those things that it's the first issue. There's so much more that I want, and that's a sign of a great issue. So that's it for this week. We'll be back again next week with more Variant Edition. And again, we're going to keep things mixed up a little bit, and we'll see you then.